Welcome to Maine, where clean water, farm-fresh ingredients, and the creativity of rugged souls combine to create beers known around the world. More than 100 breweries have opened in Maine in just the past 5 years, and so the opportunity for you to create a tailored adventure filled with great beer is around every corner. Hi, I'm Sean Sullivan, Executive Director of the Maine Brewers Guild. Wherever you find yourself and whatever your beer of choice, I hope you'll tune in each week to learn and explore Maine's beer and beverage scene. Cheers from Maine.
Hi everyone, I'm Don Littlefield from the Maine Brew Bus.
And I'm Topher Mallory from Split Rock Distilling, and welcome to Cheers from Maine. This week I'm checking out some out-of-the-ordinary operations, a distillery making canned cocktails and another making absinthe.
And I thought it'd be fun to explore the far reaches of the state, all the way north to a brewery in Fort Kent, and all the way south to a different brewery in Kittery.
First, let's check in with the northernmost brewery in Maine, which is also the northernmost brewery in the continental United States. Sitting at the beginning of US Route 1 in Fort Kent, Maine, is First Mile Brewing Company.
We're in the tap room here at First Mile Brewing Company, right here on Market Street, one of the three main streets in Fort Kent. So the name First Mile comes from the fact that we're sitting on the first mile of US Route 1, which runs from Fort Kent, Maine to Key West, Florida. So the brewery was started by 5 owners who were originally part of a local homebrew club. First Mile sits in a renovated grain warehouse. This was the original location of the brew club and was then transformed to fit the tap room and the brew house of First Mile Brewing Company. I started brewing a year after First Mile Brewing Company opened up in October of 2018. There was an ad put out that they were looking for a head brewer with no experience required. So naturally, being a craft beer connoisseur, I jumped at the opportunity. I am originally from the county. I was born in Caribou, Maine, and after a little bit of traveling, found myself back here. Our most popular beer is a Belgian wit beer called Something Witty. However, once we get the foot in the door with one of our lighter beers, people tend to stray and try something new, especially if the alcohol is higher. As a style, New England IPAs tend to be our most popular beers. So our tap room is open Wednesday through Sunday. There are a few places to grab a beer in Fort Kent, but very few places to find local craft beer. So we've definitely pegged the market there. Well, thanks to the Maine Beer Trail, we get people from all over coming to explore our tap room. We've had people from Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, all the way from Washington, California, and Texas even. Right now, about 50% of our grain is sourced from Maine Malt House, and everything from our pale malts all the way to our flaked oat, wheat, and corn. So our tap room has been closed since mid-March, as have the majority of tap rooms and restaurants in Maine. So we had to shift gears and be a little bit creative with how we're getting beer to the customers. So instead of distributing kegs like we usually do, we've transitioned entirely to distributing cans. We have, that includes distributing to our local stores, as well as the advent of our online store, which includes the ability to deliver to individuals' homes. Response to beer delivery has been incredible. I mean, the joy that people experience when they're opening their doors to receive their pallet of beer it makes it worth it. You can find our beer in stores everywhere in the St. John Valley, as well as in Presque Isle and Holton. And if you're in the Portland area, when tap rooms open back up, be sure to stop in at Great Lost Bear, where we're featured on tap. I'm looking forward to having people back in the tap room. We have such a beautiful place for serving beer with tons of natural light and repurposed wood and tons of local antique signs from local businesses from around the town. It feels a bit like a ghost town in here. We need to inject a little bit more life in here. The beer is still good, we just need the people to drink it. Cheers from First Mile Brewing Company in Fort Kent, and cheers from Maine.
In the far southern part of the state is the town of Kittery. It's often the first stop for people that are traveling into Maine. And that's where we find Woodland Farms Brewery.
So Woodland Farms started as a dairy in 1895, actually, owned by the Rowan family. So we've been in Kittery since the early 1800s, actually. The dairy went out of business in the late 1960s. With the passing of my grandfather, the name kind of disappeared as well, too. So bringing it back as a brand and as a family endeavor was really important to me. So yeah, homebrewing was just an absolute passion of mine, and I refined my craft, and through that I met my current brewer, actually, Kevin DeRuyter. You know, the recipes are basically ours. He and I tear them down and build them back up again. So it's been an exciting process. You know, the Woodland Farm space is not located on the farm. That's the first question that we always get. And the main reason is that the farm smells. Now, the farm is actually still a working dairy farm. They come and get our spent grain. It goes and feeds the cows on the farm, which is really great. So when you walk in, you're really greeted by what I try to explain as my living room. If you were to come to my home, you would see that it looks pretty much like my brewery. We have milk bottles dating back to 1919. This crazy raccoon that says, "Stash that trash." So our goal, you know, is warm and welcoming. We want a place for you to come and enjoy a couple of pints. You'll find cribbage boards and you know, old Nintendo video games, and you know, we're definitely not a sports bar. You know, we're a place where you can sort of come and relax and have a chat with some friends. Woodland Farms flagship beers really span a variety of styles. We do not try to pigeonhole ourselves into one style of beer. Our core lineup consists of a hazy New England IPA, Blinky is our core flagship beer, a fruited sour beer, and then a half a dozen high quality lagers. We have a Mexican style lager, we have a Czech style Pilsner, and we have a Dortmunder style golden lager that is a little bit more of a German regional style. You know, we do a great oatmeal stout as well too, called Monroe. We will, in the wintertime, serve that on nitro, so you can get a really great, creamy, frothy head on top of that over a nice sort of soft, silky, chocolatey body. We are trying to be as innovative as possible, so we do a craft non-alcoholic IPA, and we're working on craft non-alcoholic porter, which is really exciting. The people that both staff and visit Woodland Farms really sort of are my favorite thing about this business. We've got over 100 Mug Club members, some of which were here from day one. And as we go through the pandemic, it's these folks that are keeping us going. You know, we really want to make sure that you walk away from Woodland Farms with a positive experience that's a little bit different than others. We've switched to a curbside delivery model, so you can purchase beer through our website, you can purchase beer through telephone. It's so important in times of crisis to support those around us. You know, we have had a pay it forward concept where someone will purchase a 4-pack of craft beer for a first responder or for someone that's on the front lines, and we go and deliver it to their house. You know, you come home from a long shift at the hospital, and you know there's a couple of craft beers sitting on your doorstep. That's a pretty special thing. Yeah, we wouldn't be where we are today without the community that we have, and we do everything that we can to try and support them.
Hi, my name is Sam Punderson, and I work for Mountainside Real Estate at Sugarloaf. Sugarloaf is the ski destination for anybody in New England. In my opinion, it's one of the greatest mountains out there. I have been living here with my family, my wife and son, for the last 20 years. There seems to be a renewed interest in being up here all the time, not just during the winter.
I'm Adam Eldridge. I'm third generation at Eldridge Lumber and Hardware. We're family owned and operated. You get a lot of better customer service than you would at a big box store. People enjoy coming in here. It's very personable. We get on a first name basis with a lot of our customers, and a lot of interesting new products that you don't see at those stores. I love my job because I see a lot of interesting people every day. I work with a lot of interesting people, and that's one of the big things that I like most about it is the people I work with. You know, they become a lot like family.
I think having a hand in the local economy, and especially in Greater Portland, where I was born and raised, is a big part of what I do, especially with businesses that you can interact with, breweries, distilleries. It's your dream and it's your vision, but we kind of assist in building that. I think a large part of what we do is help people envision what their space could be. Walking into a business and seeing the community just really enjoying and what that business adds to the community, I think is just really fun.
I think that's the Wex way, We are a small group of really high-powered, very animated, very active group of people, which is what makes Wex so attractive. We are definitely play hard, definitely work hard, and trying to get that good balance is always the fun part. But we have a lot of fun.
Hi everyone, welcome to Print Salon in Falmouth.
Hey everybody, and welcome back. Excited to introduce you to our friend and partner, Drew Sigurdsson, the managing partner of the Boulos Company. For folks who have not heard of the Boulos Company, tell us in your words what you guys do.
Sure, we're a full-service commercial real estate brokerage company, and we handle sales and leasing of all types of commercial properties all around Maine and New Hampshire.
And you guys, we partnered this year specifically supporting our first season of Cheers from Maine, because you help a lot of both landlords and businesses throughout the state get into their craft brewing and distilling businesses and dreams. So I know you work closely with a lot of them. So tell us, an honest conversation, what you're hearing and seeing.
Well, it started off really strong. 2020 was going to be a great year, and everyone really had a lot of optimism and was going gangbusters, and just really looking forward to a terrific spring and summer here in Maine and Seacoast, New Hampshire. That all changed really, really quickly. So now here we are in early May, and the last 2 months have been really difficult for a lot of our clients, whether they are the breweries and distilleries on the tenant side, or even on the landlord side. It's been tough for everybody. So everyone is reliant on the other. So you have the businesses which are the tenants, and they rely on the consumer and on people buying their product. But then the landlords rely on them to pay the rent. And then the banks rely on the landlords to pay their mortgages. Mm-hmm. And so right now, everybody has to work together. And really what we're seeing is that everybody is working together to, help each other, to defer payments where they can, to understand everybody's particular situation, because everyone is different.
So you've been with the Boulos Company since the 90s. We've seen ups and downs. I try to end with a positive outlook, but and we have pulled through a lot of things. So what are you forecasting? What are you telling businesses, potential people that wanted to launch a business this year because things were going so well?
Yeah, I might hold off on launching a new business this year unless it's in hand sanitizer. This is an opportunity for businesses to really dial in what they do well, to figure out how to become most efficient, most productive at the lowest possible cost. And there are a lot of really innovative, amazing entrepreneurs out there, and they're going to figure out how to do well in any climate. We're happy to take calls and consult with people. So yes, we're able and willing to help clients with whatever their situation may be.
Well, thank you. And the positive is that we are all coming together and helping one another, which is really nice to see here in Maine.
Absolutely. And a lot more time with our families.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Drew, from the Bullis Company. I appreciate your support in this industry, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.
My name's Luke Davidson. I'm with Mainecraft Distilling. We're down here in Portland. The idea was to make whiskey out of Maine grain, and the process became very much more elaborate very quickly. Full on journey, full on learning process, and still in the middle of it right now for sure. I saw, our great friends, the brewers, selling canned products that were being consumed in an afternoon with a bunch of friends, and it made perfect sense to me. Our product is something that, has a shelf life of at least 2 weeks, and it sits on someone's shelf for weeks, if not months, if not years. And so putting our spirits in a cocktail and put them in cans, we finally came up with a recipe and a product that we're really happy with. It's unique, so we're finding that we're getting much better distribution. Our top 3 sellers at our bar were basically a Blue Shine lemonade, which is our blueberry liqueur with lemonade. And then we had a Cranberry Island cocktail, which is basically, cranberry and vodka, and our Maine Mule, which is rum and ginger beer. We recognized that there were other types of cocktails that people wanted to try, so we came out with a vodka soda and Italiano, we call it, which is basically an Aperol Spritz version, and gin and tonic. And so those are the 6 products that we have for cans, and have rolled out somewhat nationally, definitely regionally, and we're looking at some very big markets to fill a lot of big orders that are coming in for this spring. So we're really excited. Like everybody else, when the big sort of scary monsters rolled in, we shut our doors and shut out the lights like everybody else. Several weeks later, we found out, the state had changed the rules around distributing cocktails, and we were able to sell pre-made cocktail mixes. Hand sanitizer was also in the mix, and that basically allowed me to bring my staff back. So now we offer cocktails, our canned cocktails, our bottles, and pre-made cocktails as well. And we are shipping most of those. If not, you can pick them up curbside. We also have our sanitizer here as well, of course. We aren't offering food, but we do plan on opening in early June with a truncated menu and an opportunity to enjoy a cocktail or two outside, properly distanced and safely apart from each other. It's a very difficult time for everybody, and it's been quite interesting to follow the path of where our whole community is in Maine and throughout the Northeast and all over the country. We feel very lucky to have been able to pivot, and we are now, working harder and selling more of our cans than we ever have. I think some of the exposure has been wonderful. We're anxious to get open and have a big party when we finally can be all safe and healthy and share in our small success here. From everyone at Mainecraft Distilling, cheers. Cheers from Maine.
Hi, I'm Bruce Olson with Tree Spirits Winery and Distillery. Welcome. We are a little bit unusual in Maine in that we're a winery and a distillery. We can take the wine that we make and distill it. So we have like a nice supply of wine. If we have too much wine, we distill it and make it into spirits. So we are pretty much known for our absinthe. We are, as far as we know, we're the only absinthe producer in New England right now. Absinthe is a very high proof spirit flavored with herbs. Ours is 130 proof, and it's flavored primarily with what we would call the holy trinity of absinthe, which is anise, fennel, and wormwood. Wormwood is the wild card. Wormwood has a compound in it called fusion, which is actually a known hallucinogen. It's unclear if there was ever enough fusion in absinthe to make it hallucinogenic, but that's really what made absinthe famous, and then also then what got absinthe in a lot of trouble. It outlawed in the US in 1912 and didn't become legal again until 2007. And it's a small enough niche, it seemed like a kind of a good fit for us. And our absinthe is made with our apple brandy as the base liquor. And we source most of the herbs locally. As you know, this is a really weird time because we would normally be starting to get really busy at the tasting room now. We're still open just for basically for walk-up business. So, and we can do deliveries also. So people can call in, order, pay us with a credit card over the phone. and they can walk up and pick up what they've ordered. You know, one of the nice things about coming to the tasting room is you would get to like talk with the maker, with the distiller, the winer, you know, the winemaker, and, you know, look at the equipment and stuff like that. And it looks like, you know, this summer that's going to be tough. But even the people who can't do that, you know, you can still buy our product online. So what actually we've been selling a lot of, and you wouldn't think about it as a summertime drink, is actually our maple wine. People think, oh my God, it's going to be like drinking alcoholic maple syrup. It's not like that at all. It's actually a fairly dry wine that has an interesting flavor. You take the sweet part out of maple syrup, it might not necessarily be recognizable as maple, but it's an interesting flavor. And the pear wine is also a pretty good mover during the summer season for us. Our website has a link to something called Vino Shipper, which is basically what all the small wineries use. It's a third-party shipper. You can click on them, go to their website, and it allows you to order our wines and usually ship out the next day. It's a way to at least get the product, even though you're going to miss kind of the, you know, the message and the, you know, the camaraderie of talking with the distiller or the winemaker. I think it would be really interesting to go back to Paris in the, you know, in what they call the Belle Epoque, the 1890s, and sit at a table with Van Gogh and Toulouse-Lautrec and, you know, Degas, and, you know, and have a glass of absinthe with those guys and just see what the heck was going on. I think that would be fun.
One of the organizations that I'm involved in is called the United States Bartenders Guild, and the Portland, Maine chapter of that organization is heavily involved in a campaign to help Maine's bartenders called Save Our Shifts.
So I first started bartending in Manhattan around 2005. I moved to Portland, Maine in late 2010, and I helped to open Cheval in 2017. So Save Our Shifts is a campaign to benefit Maine bartenders who are affected by the coronavirus and COVID-19 stay-at-home orders. So we work with the Portland chapter of the United States Bartenders Guild to produce educational video content and then pay bartenders for their efforts. It started off as a conversation between myself and Darren Case of Round Turn Distilling. He wanted to figure out how to help people locally. And so, you know, the idea just kind of grew out of that. And we had some great partners and local branding company here in Maine called Maine, a local videographer named Zach Bowen. Really proud of all the work we've done so far, but this is really just the beginning. We just launched this week. So we're now accepting applications from Maine bartenders, and we'll get them into production and, you know, be cutting checks soon enough. So it's kind of born out of that idea of what do you have in the pantry, whether it's some coconut oil that you cook with or some freeze-dried fruit in the pantry, and how do you incorporate those flavor profiles, you know, simple techniques to make your drinks better at home. We're taking all the money that we bring in and giving it back to bartenders. And I'm very proud to say that the USBG has donated a significant sum of its own resources to the cause. So, you know, not everybody's had the benefit of being able to apply and receive unemployment benefits. And it definitely is just helpful to be able to give something back to people.
Thanks for tuning in this week. It's been truly inspiring to see what Maine businesses are doing and making.
And to follow more of our adventures, check out mainlifemedia.com and on Instagram at Cheers from Maine. See you next week, everybody.
Until then.
My name is Patrick Rowan, Patrick Rowan.
Are you sure about that?
I hope so. Oh my God, stop.
Oh, wait. That's all right. The last interview we did, UPS showed up.
Hang on a second. UPS just showed up.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me go.